here live at the Blockchain Convention in Atlantic City, and we're here with a musical artist. What's your name and where you're from?
Mir Fontane from Camden, New Jersey.
From Camden, New Jersey. That's awesome. So you're born and raised here in Jersey?
Right, absolutely.
That's awesome, man. And tell us more about your music and how you got started.
I started making music when second semester in college. It was a way for me to express myself in the event. And it pretty much got me a deal with 300 Entertainment, got me a couple of looks throughout the industry, and ever since then, it's just been something I wanted to do to reach other people. Yeah.
Very cool. That's awesome. And who are some of your like role models, people in the industry that you look up to that you're like, okay, I see the lane that they're in? You know, kind of the older generation, because I feel like we're the younger generation. You have, you know, a lot of rappers that are kind of retiring. Who do you think kind of like paved the way for your sound and your vibe?
For me specifically, I would have to say Hove, 50 Cent, and Lil Wayne. If I had to give top three, I would say Drake too, but he's not really that old if you want to compare him to those guys. But Drake definitely allows me to do what I'm allowed to do now. But those three is definitely the OGs of why I really started rapping, and they paved the way for everything I do now.
Very cool. So I really feel, I mean, I grew up listening to hip hop myself, and I really feel like music is like a new form of education. Absolutely. Because you're putting information into people's brains. So recently, I started being very careful about the music that I listen to, because I want to make sure that when I'm consuming that type of education is going to have a good impact. So what is the message that you're putting out to young people when they listen to your music?
Like a lot of the music nowadays in my genre kind of like glorifies like death, gang violence, and all that type of stuff, but the type of music I make kind of shows you the other side of all of that stuff that hip hop glorifies. Like, yeah, I mean, you could join the gang, you could do all those things, but at the end of the day, you're gonna lose friends. You might go to jail. You know what I mean? I rap about those real life experiences that aren't really glorified in hip hop, but are very real in true life. So I rap about that. I lost friends. I lost friends to the system, lost friends to the streets and stuff like that. But I want to give back to those younger than me. I want to be the role model that I never had. So I kind of create that type of music. Without it being super corny or like, you know what I mean?
So you're not in any gangs, no affiliations or anything like that?
My family is. Like I understand everything. I understand everything, but at the end of the day, that's not the road that I wanted to take. Like nobody wants to live the rest of their life having to look over their shoulder 24/7. Like that's a terrible way to live. So I always understood that. I understood I had several talents, and I understood that it was a way for me to, for me to get rich and my family to also get rich for generations to come. So I treated myself like a hot commodity. Like I always treated myself like I was bigger than all the other stuff that was around me. I could never be peer pressured into anything because I already knew what I wanted to do. So I just try to give that same type of mindset to other people. Understand that the power that you have, like nobody can take that away from you. Your superpower is the fact that you're you. Nobody else can be you better than you. So I try to preach that, and yeah.
I love that, man. That's super inspirational. You know, myself, I'm from Jersey as well. I grew up in an urban environment. One of my best friends, he was a Latin king, and right now he's doing 18 years in jail because he shot somebody in the face for some marijuana, like that's really stupid things. Yeah. And so for you to have that message that, hey, you know, you don't have to be in a gang to be successful, I really think that resonates. So I'm from West New York, New Jersey. You're from Camden, New Jersey. Right. Camden traditionally has been a really, really rough neighborhood. It's had a lot of ups and downs. So tell us a little bit more about you growing up in Camden and what those ups and downs were like for you.
Like growing up in Camden, you pretty much learn how to deal with, not even deal with, you pretty much learn how to use what you have or understand what you don't have and make the best of what you do have. So that kind of helped me in my musical career as well. Like I never really had much, so when I don't have anything, that doesn't really affect me. It's kind of like I'm used to growing up with the rats and roaches. So like I'm so used to the bottom that any sense of up is great to me. So like
you're resilient.
Exactly. I'm very proud of where I come from as far as like being able to teach me that. Like by me not having anything at all, when I finally get something, I appreciate it more, as opposed to like, if you take something from me, I will be lost. Like I won't be lost. Like I've literally had nothing and made something of who I am today. So it pretty much builds character. But growing up around there, you gotta learn how to be tough. You gotta learn self-defense. You gotta learn not to take anything, and all of that comes in handy in the music industry.
Absolutely.
You deal with the same type of people in the music industry, if not worse. And it's just different, like, because they're way more intelligent, way more knowledgeable on how they're deceptive and stuff like that. But when you grow up around that all your life, it's not a culture shock, you know what I mean, when you get actually into the game. So it pretty much bred me for what I'm doing now.
That's awesome. What advice do you have for young people that are from similar urban environments that are growing up and they're thinking about getting into music, they're thinking about getting into tech or entrepreneurship? What advice do you have for them?
understand what you want to do and lock on to that. Like a lot of people know what they want to do, but then they like fall short of it because they start worrying about other distractions and, like I said, peer pressure and all this other stuff, and they end up by the wayside. And then they're like, damn, what happened? You feel me?
Yeah.
So I understood I wanted to be an entertainer, or I wanted to be something outside of my city, and I stuck to that. No peer pressure. Nobody else can really force me off of my path. Nobody can knock me off of my pedestal that I had myself on. I walked around like I was a celebrity before I was a celebrity, and the universe kind of granted me that. I treated myself like I was not better than anybody, but I understood my worth more than a lot of people who all their life they were told they're not. Can I curse on here?
No, go right ahead.
Like all their life they've been told they're not shit, like they're not anything. You're not gonna grow up to be anything. So that kind of like stuck in their head, and they just pretty much became what the environment wanted them to become. But I was always resilient. It's probably because my grandpa was a teacher, and I always had a thirst for knowledge. So I got to see both sides of the spectrum. I grew up around black professionals, and then I grew up around black street people. So I was like, I know what works and what doesn't, and that kind of guided me. I was able to learn from other people's mistakes without me having to, you know what I mean, touch the fire myself, really. So yeah.
Totally. Well, and that brings up a good point of like having the right role models, right? Like when I was growing up, I had a teacher in middle school that literally told the kids we were gonna grow up to be junkies. And that was powerful for a kid that's in 4th grade. That's a really powerful statement to put on somebody. So what advice do you have for kids that are looking for role models, but maybe they're looking for them in the wrong places?
You gotta understand what you want for yourself. If you do have kids, or if you don't have kids, who you will want your kids to actually model themselves after. You gotta understand all of that. But like, I understand when you're in the moment, living however old you are, life, you're not thinking about any of that. Like, that's the furthest thing from your mind. You're 19, 20 years old, just thinking about being 19, 20 years old. But you gotta understand who you want to be 5 years from now, and you have to work towards that. You're just not gonna happen to be that. 5 years is gonna go by whether you, all right, say you want to be a doctor, and for whatever reason, it takes 5 years for you to be the doctor. 5 years is going to go by regardless.
Yeah.
If you're the doctor or not.
5 years you're a doctor, or
So
5 years you're still on the couch?
Are you going to be a doctor, or are you going to be, you know what I mean, procrastinating and all that?
That's great.
The time is going to go by regardless. What are you going to do with it? That's pretty much how I live my life. I'm like, in my city, it's rare that you grow to reach my age. I just turned 25 in April. I'm very proud of that.
Congratulations, brother.
Thank you. A lot of people don't see that age. A lot of people don't see 18. So I understood what I have now is a blessing. It's a reason I'm still here, and I just didn't want to like just go that way. Like whatever. Like yeah, I can draw, I can rap, I can sing, I can write, I can do so much stuff. So for me to be dead or in somebody's jail would be a waste. And I understood that at 12 years old. I was like, I can't be dead or in nobody's jail.
That's awesome. Do you have kids?
I have no kids.
Congratulations too, because that's a big thing.
Right.
One of my friends, he started having kids in 7th grade, and by the time he graduated from high school, he had 5 kids.
That's how it is. Like if you have kids, kids are a blessing. But at the end of the day,
they are.
But like my profession, right now I have time and energy. I don't have the money, but when I'm a little older, I will have the money, but I don't have the time, or I don't have the energy. When I'm even older, you know, older people got the money, they got the time, but they're so old, they don't have the energy to do it. I'm young, I got the energy and the time, and I'm about to chase this dream. I'm gonna get to the money. That's how I was saying. I was like, this is the perfect time to do what you want to do. If it's way too long, it's just a wrap.
So right now you're focused on music, primarily hip hop, right? But you said you also sing and you have other talents and aspirations. Besides music and besides hip hop, are there other things that you want to get into?
Besides music,
in the future,
I want to get in movies. Like I said, I was drawing. I went to school for animation and stuff like that. So I eventually want to get an Adult Swim cartoon. I already got the pilot and how it's laid out and what it's about, all that. I want to get all that done. I got a couple scripts of my own. Movies is really where the money is. I've always been like that's why I never really called myself a rapper. I want to say I'm an entertainer because I'm a great performer. I can rap, I can sing, but I just like being in front of a camera and actually like just doing my thing. Like I'm good at impressions. It's so much multi-talented. I was like, yo, if I was outside looking at it and I was like, yo, this kid actually wasted his life, I would be mad at myself.
Yeah, you don't want to put yourself in a box. I mean, look at Will Smith. Will Smith started in music, transitioned.
Drake, Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx.
Childish Gambino,
The Rock.
50 Cent.
Yeah,
all of
definitely.
That is people I look up to because it's like I want to level up. I don't want to just be like, damn, I got to make a fire album or I'm not going to eat this year.
Well, even Kanye, he gets upset when people call him a musician or a rapper.
Right.
He says rapper, it's actually used as a derogatory term to put him in a box. He's like, oh, he's a rapper. He's like, no, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a fashion designer, I'm an influencer. You know what I mean? I'm not only just rapping.
Right.
You know?
Like a lot of people look down upon rappers. Like all you can do is just pretty much rap. But like a lot of people who are rappers are also just creatives. They have ideas outside of just rapping on the beat. So I see what you mean by as this a derogatory term. Like you're just a kid who just so happened to come up off of being able to rhyme words. That's how he sees rapper. He has the ability to do a lot of stuff, but Kanye never did it. Like Kanye could have been in movies. Kanye could have done a lot of stuff. He was only in State Property for a real small role.
That State Property, I almost forgot about that one. Yeah.
Role. But it's like he could have did that, but he didn't. Like 50 did it. 50 actually went out and wrote stuff. Like he wrote Power.
Yeah, he's in stuff with like De Niro. Crazy.
Come on, like he got a couple. He got a couple with hits.
Yeah.
Al Pacino, he's in a movie with Al Pacino. Like, it's 50 Cent. It's like you would have never thought that, but because he knew what he wanted to do and like he believed in so much, he did. Like, and that just gave me motivation for it because I grew up on 50 Cent. 50 Cent was a rapper, but a lot of people, if you really listen to 50 Cent, you know he was singing too a little bit. Like he gave a little bit of melody. And like most of his hit songs have melody, like just a little bit. All of that had melody, and it was kind of like that's the path I took. And then Drake just took it and ran with it. Like you can actually sing instead of like, oh, you can hold a note. Like, Drake can actually sing, and he's just making it do.
Definitely. So one last thing before we wrap up. One key takeaway from being at this blockchain event. So we're here at the blockchain event. What's one thing that you learned from like all the culture and all the speakers and stuff like that?
Everybody's very open. And when I mean open, I mean like everybody's open to collaborations and helping each other. Like nobody's trying to like hone all the information or all of that. I got thirst for knowledge. Like I like learning new stuff. So like nobody's really bougie about what they know. Everybody wants to help each other, and that's dope. Because I'm from Jersey, and it seems like everybody I've met so far is from around Jersey, whether it be not from Camden or not. But everybody's seems to be South Jersey, which is dope. Like you don't see a lot of South Jersey powerful people in one building. So it's definitely dope. It's definitely an experience. Absolutely.
Now, so for people that want to follow you on social media, where can they find you? What's your handles?
You can find me on every social media at Mir Fontane, MirFontane, on everything. Check out my music, Macaroni Tony, Camden, Who's Watching the Kids, everything on Spotify, Apple, Tidal, wherever you listen to music, you can find Mir Fontane.
Word, that's dope. We out here, man. Thank you so much for being on the show. I appreciate it.